At the second coming of Christ, there's going to be a massive global landscape change in Israel, and Jerusalem will become the highest place in the earth. Pay attention. In Micah chapter 4, there's a prophecy by the prophet Micah concerning the Lord's reign in Zion. Now, Zion is another name for Jerusalem. And the Lord's reign speaks of the 1,000-year reign of Christ, by which he will reign as king over the whole earth from Jerusalem. See, Jesus calls Jerusalem the city of the great king in Matthew 5:35, because Jerusalem has been set apart as a holy place by the Father for his appointed king, who is his son, Jesus. And this is exactly what David is referencing in the book of Psalms 2. David says here, the kings of the earth set themselves, or they appoint themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords. Or in other words, the kings of the earth want to remove themselves from God's authority so that they will be the authority. But look at what the Father says. Verse 6, yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. The holy hill of Zion is Jerusalem. And Jesus, who is the Father's anointed, will be appointed to reign from Jerusalem when he returns. And this will confirm God's authority over the nations. Now, why does the writer refer to Jerusalem as a holy hill? Biblically, the word hill is another word for mountain. So when we come back to Micah 4, we see that the prophet refers to Jerusalem or Zion as the mountain of the house of the Lord. Let's read verse 1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and the people or the nations shall flow unto it. Now, there's a lot to unpack here, but I want you to take note on how Jerusalem, the mountain of the Lord, will be exalted above the hills. This speaks of a massive global landscape change that will happen at the second coming of Christ. And we can read about this in Zechariah 14, which gives us detailed description about the second coming of Christ. Verse 4 tells us that the feet of Jesus will stand upon the Mount of Olives and split it. Verse 9 tells us that the Lord shall be king over the whole earth in that day. Now look at verse 10. All the land shall be turned as a plain that's flat, from Geba to Rimmon, south of Jerusalem. Geba to Rimmon is a 40-mile radius surrounding Jerusalem. But watch what happens to Jerusalem. And it shall be lifted up and inhabited in her place. And this is when Jerusalem shall be established in the top of the mountains and exalted above all of the mountains. Jerusalem will be the highest place on earth, and Jesus and the saints will reign over the entire earth.